welcome. You're listening to The Lie, Lama Podcast. I'm Gunjan.
I'm Rajiv.
And on our show, we have super special guest. We have mystery woman who does not want to reveal much about herself, but is still known face on Twitter. She's a mom, a professional, and a hopeless lover who keeps tweeting about her crush and her middle class woes. And she's one amongst us, our very own Desi girl. Desi girl
Desi
power.
girl power, yes.
All
And I'm a
right.
big fan. I'm a big fan. And,
Hi,
but I
Rajiv.
will,
Hi.
let her introduce herself.
Hi, Rajiv. Hi, Gunjan. I am actually a big fan of Rajiv. The way he speaks the very simple things in about life in such a beautiful manner that I am a big fan of him. And I have been knowing him since quite some time on Twitter because we've been connected and all. And
Yeah.
it has been good. And there is, as such, for me, if you talk about me, for me, there is no introduction as such. I'm just a simple girl. I'm just a normal small town girl living next door. That's
We
what
all
I
are.
can just talk to.
We all
We
are.
all are.
And that small
Yeah.
town is Delhi.
No,
We,
right
we,
now,
we,
yeah, right
we,
now,
yes. We
right
all
now
are,
we can
and
say.
but we pretend to be, big.
Yes.
But
Great.
right now it is Delhi, but yeah, that town that we born and brought up in has always stayed, no? That's it.
Yes.
So, my girl, what's the biggest lie of your life?
The biggest lie would be I don't care. Something like that, like wherein we say that, okay, I don't care about a thing, but the moment we start saying that I don't care, it seems that we do care a lot. And we just are trying to recite it and just to make ourselves clear, no, I don't want to care. But it is like, I do care, but I don't want to care. That's what I think is the biggest lie, because for everything, every day-to-day thing, we say, I don't care. But
And
it is.
But is
basically.
it for everything or specific things that we mention? I don't care. Or when you say I don't care.
See, it is generally for the things which matters a lot. It could be in terms of your ease, or maybe in terms of love, in terms of affection, in terms of anything wherein you put in a lot of efforts and you've not got something worth out of it. So you say, okay, I don't care. I have done my part of it. So something which is dear to you,
So
probably
it
that
is
comes
more
out
of
to me.
like you're saying that this is more like you are expressing a negative attraction to something, and you, in your heart, you care a lot, but then you are disgusted with whatever the situation is, or let's say your child is not working hard, and you want the child to work hard, study hard, and then you say, I don't care. But really what you're saying is that you care very deeply about your child or whatever situation is.
I would rather put it another way. It would not be a negative emotion. It would be for me, it could be a kind of frustrated moment. As in, like when he says that I'm not gonna eat today, I said, like, okay, I don't care, don't eat. But I do care. I would say I would just go and get something for him to eat. So that is what the emotion is, rather than like on other things, basically.
yes,
Frustrated
yes.
one kind of.
I remember this from my childhood. My mom would be like, always after my brother's life, that you please study, you please study. And then she'll be like, okay, I don't care. And
Bhar mein jao.
after 5 minutes, she'll be like, you are not studying. We were like, oh my God, you just gave a statement that I'll not say. And then it was a very regular line. Tum padho,
Yes.
nahi padho, pass ho, fail ho, hame kuch farak nahi padta.
Ah.
We have lived our life. And then 5 minutes later, you're not studying? I was like, Mama, please leave him alone. But yeah, I mean, I have seen
But the
that
question is,
moms.
but the question is that why do we make that statement, and then do we do anything about it after that? Because just saying that I don't care is okay. You're just you have vented. That's all. But
But
then
it's kind of venting out, and it's kind of saying that, okay, I don't care, and then just leave off that burden and then start caring about it again after 5 minutes. Looks like that's what happens, because you say I don't care and just, okay, that you've spoken it aloud, you feel good about it, and it's kind of venting out. and probably then.
Yeah, but then the problem is that, because by making that statement, you are giving a mixed signal to the other person, and the person get confused. In family that's fine, but let's say at a workplace, if you have a similar situation, the other person will say, "Oh, no, she doesn't care." Okay, then why should I care?
In those, again, like you say, you don't care, then you again go back to the work, because even in the workplaces or families, I mean, they are the places wherein whatever you do, I mean, you have to come back to at the same level. You have to come back to a level wherein you can collaborate and you can work together. So even if you say, I don't care, and the other person also understands, okay, she says, I don't care, but later on, after 5-10 minutes, they both will be together because they have to collaborate and they have to work together to come back. So I guess that kind of bonding or that kind of understanding between those people, you don't say I don't care to anybody and everybody around. You say I don't care to some people
No.
who matters
Yes.
more.
No. Sometimes, in our pilot episode, we promised our listeners that we will not be talking about politics and all. And during election year, sometimes I just say, I don't care. But the kind of tax we are paying and the kind of roads we are getting and the kind of facilities we are there, again, it has a very, very deep emotion attached to it when you say, I don't care. There are certain things, it's all related to expectations, and which leads to disappointment when this phrase comes that I see.
So yeah, the question, I think, the point that you're trying to make is that if you say, I don't care, are you willing to live with the consequences if the other person takes it seriously?
Probably not. Probably not. Because not thought about it. It is something you said to yourself and then moved on because it was getting too much on your own. So just to move on to your own. But I don't think somebody should take it seriously.
No, but why not?
That's
So let's say,
fine.
so because typically, where conflict happens in relationships is that one person says, I don't care, and the other person takes it seriously and then starts dwelling on it. Siblings fall apart, parents, I've seen many situations where, you repeat that word or that sentence 2 or 3 times, the other person says, okay, you don't care, then I also don't care. The question is that, if when you are saying that, are you thinking through the consequences? Are you willing to live up with the consequences? Or if you're simply saying it, then how do you correct it? How do you, like Gunjan was saying that, like her mom would go back and start, probing her brother about the studies, but that may or may not happen in every situation. Then how do you revert I don't care to no, I care a little or I care a lot?
Okay. So there are 2 ways to handle it. One is obviously the way Gunjan has told about her mom probing her son and then going back again saying, see, I do care. I mean, if I say that I don't care, it doesn't mean that I don't care. I do care, and I will always be caring about the same thing. So that is one way of doing it, wherein you are still having hopes and you are still not that much frustrated. The other thing is, I don't care, like as Gunjan was talking about the politics scenario or any election scenario or anything, like wherein the frustration has gone so up that you stopped caring. I mean, and then you're like, okay, whatever comes in, I have to take it.
So
it's the destiny.
So essentially, so you are using the expression to give up on a situation.
Yeah, kind of. So, and if we talk about relationships, so it gradually moves from the first, I don't care, wherein you just keep probing in and you just keep saying again and again that I do care. But it just gradually moves on to the another I don't care, wherein you literally stop caring, and then you literally are actually able to bear the consequences that would happen once the person takes it seriously. So it gradually moves from one I don't care to the other I don't care.
All right. So here is my curiosity which is coming up, and it cannot be one incident that you can just say, I don't care. It's generally amalgamation of series of events that happen and the timing when they happen. Just can you share us a story how you reached this journey of I don't care, where you're like, yeah, it's the biggest lie of my life that I don't care, but I do care. And of course, there has to be a story and a story behind the story. It will be great if our listeners can listen to that story, or yeah, it will be good to share.
Whatever you can share, yes.
Yeah, whatever you can share.
Okay, so I'll share a story, and since we're calling it a story, it is not actual life story, but it is a mix of a story, probably the way I actually portray myself or something. So I would again talk about a story about myself itself, a small town girl who wanted to make it big, and like every little thing mattered, like somebody you didn't get those ranks, you didn't get first rank, or you didn't get admission into the best college. So you started with you start getting frustrated, you start getting disheartened, but later on, after some time, you think, does it matter? And you just stop caring about it. So it's just a simple thing about your academics. You started off, then once you have started thinking about, okay, I don't care about one thing, then there are other things, then you just grow up, you get into relationships, then there are multiple rejections, there are multiple discussions wherein somebody says something, you say something, and then later on, again, you realize, does that matter? It doesn't. I don't care. You move on. So the journey keeps on going from because being into an Indian middle class, we start from academics only, because for our families, academics is the most important thing. So first we stop believing I don't care about my scores and exams and all. Then you get into relationship, you think about those, then you get into more things. And after a certain period of time, you say, okay, I don't care. Let it go.
So what you're saying is that, we use this phrase to shield ourselves from many things in life.
Yes.
And layer upon layer, whether it is relationships, whether it is education, later on maybe money or status, or all the shit that we pile up on ourselves.
Yeah.
And we hide behind I don't care. But my question is that what does it do to your self-esteem and self-confidence, and then how does it play in your life?
At times it makes you stubborn. At times people don't understand you, and people might say this person is too stubborn. It might go otherwise to the person who's looking at you. They might think that you are somebody who actually is thinking too high of themselves. Arrogant. Kind of arrogant. But inside, the person is actually breaking. The person is basically not even able to see himself or herself in front of mirror also. So it actually creates a dual personality at times.
Yeah, so you start leading fake life.
Yeah.
Why would you want to do that? Because you are consciously, making a statement, I don't care. And, my belief is that what we think, or there's a sequence of things, like what we think is what we say, and then what becomes what we do. So up here, what you're saying is that, if you are making a statement, I don't care, the order becomes that you start thinking that way, and then you amplify your true action, and then it becomes kind of a cocoon that we all start living in, or sometimes maybe hiding behind this when we want to not confront our reality.
And want to discuss few points that are Desi Gal made, that about academics and rejection and whatever you feel at workplace. Here's a recommendation: Fish in a Tree. And that book beautifully says that if you expect a fish to climb up a tree, then it's your problem. And I've been saying this, हर बच्चे के बस की पढ़ाई नहीं होती है. Why are we so much after studies, marks? If your kid is brilliant, yes, go ahead with it. But I mean, again, marks and these are just numbers, easy to say. Yes, you get admission, college, everything. But what happened after that? That's one point that I want to bring. Another is about rejection. Another book that I want to recommend, Inner Engineering. If you read that book, and then you will realize, oh my God, like this kid had almost a tornado going on in his head, and always like there's a deal with the teacher that I won't come to your class and you will give me the notes, and both of them are keeping their part of the deal. So these are the two books that I would really like our listeners to read. One will make them a better parent, if I can say, or a better person, if I can say that. But yes, there are certain books which take you on a guilt trip, and then you are like, honestly speaking, when you have a kid, first thing that comes to your mind, whatever I've been deprived of, I'll not make my kid deprived of that.
The point.
But somehow we turn like our parents.
But my question to Desi Gal is that, why do we want to hide behind a statement which is a lie? And why can't we say to the other person, hey, look here, I care very deeply about your studies or our relationship or our friendship or this, and you are disappointing me. So the thing is that, when we are on the path to self-actualize, self-realize, the more we be conscious about the words we say, the things we think, the actions we do, the better it will be for us to not live this lie. I would rather say, we have, like every household, a lot of times we have, me and my wife have like major blow up. But the thing that, or with kids and all that. But the thing is that, one thing that like we agreed upon, that we will not sleep till we have resolved the conflict. So what that means is that it puts a burden on us to not say, we make the statement, I don't care, you do whatever you want, this, that, and all that. So we make the statement like 10,000 times, but then we say, if we don't care, then why are we not working? And we like consciously, then you have to turn it around, say, no, I care. And because I care, I am making this effort of fighting. I'm making this effort of arguing or discussion or, scolding or whatever the, action you're doing, so that the other person gets a positive message rather than a negative message saying, I don't care.
Yeah. So this comes with maturity, basically. So like if I say right now, there'll be a lot of things that I'll be doing. Like if I say I don't care, then the next moment I would be saying I do care. And maybe I just go back and accept my mistakes or whatever it is. But the lie, I don't care, that we've lived throughout, at least I have lived throughout my life, is like maybe like 35 year old, wherein there had been a multitude of things that has happened and would have said that I don't care, but I did care. So now after it comes with maturity, probably self-realization and giving time to your thoughts, and which I got a lot. So like in last 7 years, I have really got that time.
Yes. And I would agree, it's not just upon your maturity level, it also depends on the maturity level of the other person as well. So it's like
that, you see, I believe that if you expect less of the other person will demonstrate less of themselves. I personally am a very, very strong believer in this.
You're changing your perception for the other person. Yeah, that's the thing. High expectation, high disappointment, and we have reached that stage that expect disappointment. Expect disappointment.
And another thing. He's saying another aspect. He's saying like you expect a lot and you tell him, I believe.
That's exactly what I'm saying. That the less you expect of the other person, the less that person will, so essentially you are giving the signal to the other person that, you're not even worth it, that I care, or I don't care, what you do. I personally am of the opinion, although, my wife Anita, she's of the similar opinion that what you're saying, lower expectation, lower disappointment. But I say no, I think that you should expect a lot from each other, because that is the only way you can inspire each other to be better. Otherwise, if you're going to say, I don't care what you do, I'll say, okay, I don't care. If you don't care, then I will do nothing.
Yes,
So you are actually lowering the bar
Agree to
of,
this. Yeah.
no, what I want to say, you are eroding the other person by saying, I don't care. And like all of a sudden, how can you say, I don't care?
Yeah.
You've been my whole world. You have been my whole life all this time. And how can you just say on my face that I don't care anymore? Not acceptable.
so
But
this, yeah,
you
yeah.
have to, yeah, but you have to accept it. And the other thing is, yes, I agree to a certain extent, I agree to Rajiv's the statement as well, that you should also expect, because like even at workplace, I mean, you give some work to somebody and you say, okay, I expect you to come back with a little bit of perfection. And when you say, I want you to come back with the 100% correct and the one which I could just as it is forward to my seniors. So the kind of work that will come out from the first person and the second person, there'll be a drastic difference, because first one will be a draft version and the other one would be a perfected version. So we cannot say that we always have to lower our expectations. We do have to actually it's a mix. I mean, somewhere down the line, when you see everything is eroding down, there's nothing left, and you reach to the other point wherein you don't really care.
Yeah, then yes, exactly. You are exactly saying what I was trying to say earlier, that if you make that statement, essentially the message that you're giving to yourself and to the other person is that, you have given up.
It takes maturity to understand, because
It does.
initially,
Yeah, it's a journey. It is always a journey. That's why, in the pilot episode, we talked about that this self-actualization and self-realization, or the lives we live with. This is a journey, and we want to go on this journey to actually talk about these things and see, how we shape up.
yeah, we do get a little things to ponder about, to think about, and realize, okay, probably that's not the way to deal with.
Yeah. So Gunjan, you've been quiet again.
Yes.
You are thinking, or you are saying, I don't care what these two people are saying.
No, I am thinking from a I'm thinking from a receiver's point of view. I'm not thinking from the like I don't care, but I'm thinking if someone comes to me and say I don't care, I will be totally devastated. And then I think that, is that person making a conscious choice, or is it just a phase of life that so done with me that doesn't care anymore? So these are the things that I was thinking about, that if someone comes to me, it's easy to give away this phrase, I don't care. But when you're on the receiving side, how does it actually feel? And just want to understand that, is it like that light of a statement that it can be just said, or is it like a very heavy duty statement that if someone says, then you're like, this is not a joke, this is something serious? So these are the
What
things.
Do you think, Jessica?
Yes, what do you think? When do you really think about the other person when you say I don't care, that what that person will go through, or you're like, you've given me enough, I don't want to take this from you anymore?
Basically, I've been on both the ends, receiver and the giver. So I can think about both the things. I know, I mean, this had gone so heavy, and I have innumerable examples wherein people have said, I've given up on you. And then I have also said the same thing. And sometimes it did materialize and we did not care a lot. But then sometimes it came back and then we started. So I'm still confused. I really don't have any answer for this.
That is what the show is all about, that we want to peel that onion and make the other person, like, not literally cry, but you can take that thought and think that, okay, what am I doing? Why am I here? What's going on?
Essentially, the intent is that if we bring these things to the surface, next time when we are saying this or, expressing this emotion, then we are very aware of, what we are doing to ourselves and to the other person.
Yeah, that makes more sense, basically.
Yeah.
Being conscious.
Yes, exactly.
Being conscious.
Exactly.
Because when you live through something throughout your life, you can't say that it was wrong. But now when you've understood it was wrong, you can't say anything about it. That's what my current state is. I mean, exactly what I would say.
Yeah, see, there are no right and wrong or absolute right and wrong in life. Each of us have our own journey, and it's ups and downs, sideways. A lot of times, it is what it is.
We're talking
So-
about peeling the onion. Here we are just peeling the layers that we have
Yeah.
covered ourselves in the mask of I don't care and go to hell, and this is not what I've decided for my, this is something beyond my comprehension and all. So we are just unpeeling all those masks that we've been covering ourselves. And yes,
Yeah.
when we meet new self of ours, I'm sure we'll be super proud of it, that I've been living a life of lie all my life, and I don't know when to
Yeah.
stop and where to stop and how to uncover those masks.
And maybe, next time when you say the statement, you can say, hey, I'm going to vent. So
Yeah.
I'm venting. It is not really that I don't care. Otherwise, I would not even say this thing. I really care. And that's why I'm venting it out. So maybe what will happen is that suddenly you'll become very conscious about the words you use. And you maybe one day you stop making this, use these words, and you say, hey, I care a lot about this. You better do it.
Yeah.
Which is a positive, positive thing, because now you're enforcing that, hey, I do care. I do care about your studies. I do care about your future. If you're talking to the child or relationships or at work, and say, that is why I am pushing you to do this.
Yeah.
Well, that was quite a discussion, and in interest of time, we need to wrap this show. And we explored how this seemingly simple phrase can hold deeper truths about our desire, fear, and the journey towards self-realization. Rajiv, closing lines from your side.
So I would like to share another couplet that I don't remember when I write these things. I just jot them down. So it expresses something about, when you use these lines, how the other, like you were saying, how the other person feels. So चोट भी कम वक्त उस कोने में लगी, दिल जहां पत्थर हुआ नहीं था अभी.
Desi girl, any last comment from your end?
I mean, this actually went through the heart. I really am in a state of a speechless moment, that you can say.
Yes, I understand.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It was
Thank
good
you.
discussion, Desi gal. Really appreciate you coming on the show. And,
Thank you
very, very
so
nice
much.
discussion. We will invite you again.
Yes, looking forward for more.
Another,
Thank you so much for
topic.
inviting me. I would really, I really loved every bit of it. And both of you are so adorable and so interesting people.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Maybe next time the phrase will be, I do care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah,
that also is a lie.
And that also is a very big lie. However, yes.
Yeah.
Thank
That
you
is
so
true.
much for
Thank
coming
you
in.
so much. Thank you.
Listeners can follow her on Twitter with the handle Desi_GalPower, which is DESI_GALPOWER, and help her find her ever-eluding crush. Thank you so much for listening. Do log on to our website, thelielama.com, THELILAMA.com. Tell us your lies and come to our show. That will be awesome. Thank you. Stay tuned.